Okay, this is Baseball Mogul. It's made by Sports Mogul. Uh, it's been around for over 20 years, almost 20 years now. So first, there's several menu prompts which you can select from when you first open up the app. Uh, Most of the time, it's got like a logo that's in the shape of the baseball diamond when you go to the actual stadium and you watch the players, and it's set up most of the time in that way. But anyway, this is version 2015, which was made in 2014. There used to be a date ahead, a year ahead of the actual time. So to that extent, it wasn't the real date, but they were able to switch that all the same with a more recent release called Baseball Diamond. Uh, but I heard that there were errors with that one. It used to be said by some of the forum members that the issues tend to include that of too many stolen bases, and I don't know why, but it sounds as if um, it's just been talked about over and over, and I'm not sure if they were able to ever correct it. But without a doubt, you think that the most recent versions, which is Baseball Local 2016, would have fixed this most likely. But anyway, as far as I've seen playing this one, uh, the steals, it's not too bad, and you can always change these. There's many toggle options you can select from, so that's an added benefit. Uh, I mean, you can scroll and you can select, more singles, more doubles, more triples, more homers. There's many options to choose from, uh, and there's also flyouts and line outs and ground outs. You can select which of those are going to have the most impact or the least impact by just inputting numbers. It's on the basis of a scale of 100 as the numerical. Uh, but all the same. Okay, so now this is the screen where you get to choose the team. Okay, so we're going with 2008 to pick any year, but I think that 2008 it's more recent and it was a rather exciting year. It was toward the end of the doping schemes. So I'm gonna go with this one in 2008, and I picked the Dodgers. Why the Dodgers? Well, I mean, you think about it, who took over at that time? You think it was Joe Torre, and he was with the Yankees. He had been with them for the prior seasons, and he was just he had quite a bit of popularity, um, and was famous as a result for his records and how he performed. All right, so what I want to do right now is I'm looking here and I want to switch the positions for some of these players because I intend to trade quite a few of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch a few of them, such as the shortstop, Nomar Garcia Parra. So he's being switched. Um, so it'd be better on the new team because the AI doesn't always account for the positions. When they can play multiple positions, they usually just play them at the position that's preferred or that's listed. So that's what I'm doing here. Or I already did that, and uh, I have to make these trades. I set up two trades that I can make, and I already had a list that I went through and sorted out. So that's what I'm doing now. Why the reason for these trades? Well, it was for the most part based on strategy. What kind of strategy? Well, there were certain players that I preferred given the context. Most of the time, I try and fit that key into the toe. So when I see a pattern, I try and make an emphasis. For as an example, if there's players that are good at avoiding the strikeout, then I'll try and set up a bunch of them, and I'll use them at the same time because they have complementary kinds of characteristics that unify and unite. And I think that's a good thing because think about it. A team that doesn't get too many strikeouts, they'll have more opportunities, and that's a big plus. That's going to lead to more runs in the long term kinds of outcomes. So anyway, it's really not that hard to set up these trades. It's a matter of um, you know, finding out which players you don't want, the other players you do want, and then you can click the button to balance the cash, and that makes it a lot easier. But not only that, but Sports Mogul also has included an option uh, where you can get a counter offer from the AI managers, which is convenient. Of course, you don't always have to use that. It's just it's there, to make it easier for you, which is a good thing, of course. Uh, so that's what I do some of the time, not too often. But you get hints, and the hints can be helpful. Can tell you what players the other team wants. All right, so let's get to some history. Okay, so we got Garrett Anderson, which is the left fielder, outfielder. Had been for the Angels. He was playing for them, and he was just a good player. He had 50 doubles in one season, and not only that, but not only the gap power, but he hit for average, and he did hit homers every now and then. But he was also said to be a rather solid outfielder, uh, and that was a good thing. To catch the ball out there. You really want the guys that have good range to access the ball, nab it down, and don't allow for hits on part of the team that you're playing against. All right, so that's good. We're getting these trades done. Who else besides that? The history, as I mentioned. There's also Choen Figgins. Now, what is it these two players share in common? Choen Figgins and Garrett Anderson. Well, the both of them, they would both hit for average. They had some gap power, good players on the whole of it. Of course, most people would say that Garrett Anderson was the far superior player. But besides that, beyond the point of it, in the prior season, which was 2007, uh, they both were able. No, 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 no. Well, they both hit records, but the thing is that one of them had 6 hits in 6 tries, or six at bats, 6 hits, and that's pretty astounding. That's really amazing to have that kind of success rate, and I really think it shows a lot. Uh, so Choen Figgins, he was one of them. But not only that, but on that same day that he had 6 hits in 6 tries, uh, he was able to also get the game-winning RBI for that game and win the game on that RBI to run batted in. So that's really good. He was able to do that. Okay, now here we are. We're taking a look at the strategies and the options to which you can toggle. A lot of people would call these the sliders, but besides that term, you can also use determinants, and all our other kinds of namings that you can refer to them as. Uh, I think there's a poster on the Sports Mogul, and he's able to come up with quite a few of them. Uh, Alright, so now we're taking a look at the team. I want to set it up so that I know who's in the minors, and I know that the right players are in the minors. I want to set it up so you don't have any repetition. You don't want your best players to be sorted with players that are already there at that position uh, when there may not be room to place them there. So you want to make sure they're going to accrue time in the minors and they're going to get the at bats, because if there's two shortstops and they're both in AAA, well, only one of them is going to get the at bats and the other one is not. He's going to be on the bench, and that's just not a good thing. Uh, I mean, you don't want that to take place. You want them to both have development and experience to keep on going off of that. Now you're saving the game, and it's really not hard to save the game. It's a very simple process, but a lot of the time I'll save multiple save files. So that's what I'm doing in this context. Um, and I just want to make sure that these lineups are gonna work. They're gonna suffice. They're gonna make sense. Um, some of the time you want to get your contact hitters toward the top, since they're more likely to get on base. Not all the time. I mean, you have to take walks into contact. But when you browse this, you take a look at it. See, I have my players here, right? And I have the guys who can get a lot of singles toward the top. James Looney, Russell Martin, the both of them, they're good at that. And then behind them I have the power guys. Why do they do this? The power guys, they just strike out a lot more at the time. And that's not to my advantage. So I'm putting them toward the end of the batting order. They can still get runs in with Martin and Maloney toward the front. And when I say this, I refer to Andrew Jones and Brad Hobb. They were two good players, very good players. Were successful what they were able to do. But I mean, most people they think of Andrew Jones and they think of his fielding ability out there on the field, able to snatch almost every ball that came toward him. It was just, it was really quite attractive, a spectacle. It was fascinating, and he was able to do this, and he made it look as if it was such ease. And um, and Brad Hobb, I mean, he wasn't a bad fielder, but he was such a good batter. He wasn't the best fielder, but then again, his offense made up for that to some extent. All right, now the pitching. Pitching, I have. What was it? Brent Leach and Cedric Bowers. Those are lefties, and most of the time, lefties are used to get out lefties, because most of the time the lefty batters will be better at facing righty, and there's a lot of righty pitchers. So I want to try and make up for that. So that's what I'm doing. I have two lefties on the relief corps. Alright, well, I have a good bench as well. So as we see here, we have some good players. Um, so there's Meister Sutras, there's Tony Abreu, and those are the guys I can use at short and third. And not only that, but there's several other players that I can rely upon for that kind of role. There's Seth Smith, there's Garrett Anderson, there's Jake Gibbons. Those are good lefty hitters, have some power, and those will help uh, to balance the lineup so that there isn't uh, too much redundancy or repetition. You want to have it to be a unit that follows in sync. So that's what I'm trying to do here to make sure it's lefty righty, or if it isn't, then there's switch hitters that are sprinkled in that can also suffice for such a role. Alright, good. So what else did we talk about? Well, how about the character, the manager? I called him, what was his name? Quinton Caspian. Yes, that's correct. So what is he like? And I really don't have an ideal image of what he's going to be like. What books does he read? What movies does he watch? What music does he listen to? I don't know what to tell you. This could be hard, but we're going to figure it out. We'll be able to describe him in some way or some form with metaphors and analogies. But, I mean, most people, when they think of these kinds of celebrities, these characters that have such a role on the team that are going to get time from the media and be asked, on how the team is doing on the whole of it, then you're going to want to make sure that they have some positive strengths, and not only that, but you got to be realistic. They have to have weaknesses. So I want to put that into effect just as much. I think that's also crucial